All right, I think I started them at the same time. Hopefully. You want to bring us in?
Welcome to Quarter Hour with the Bowers. Part 4?
Think so. Yeah, episode 4.
Epi 4. Oh, I don't have my phone, so this is going to be a rough guesstimate of time. We're gonna go off our feelers here.
Yeah. Well, we got a clock right there.
Oh.
If you hear a screaming kid in the background, it's because Wrigley's going through a sleep regression right now.
Yes.
You want to touch on that for a second? What's a sleep regression?
A sleep regression is
what are
where
we dealing with right now?
we are dealing with a screaming, crying kid at bedtime for roughly 2 to 3 hours.
That's fair.
2 to 3 hours every night. We may get one night every couple days where we don't get it. But overall, it's...
I don't remember the last time we didn't have it.
I don't either.
It happened all last week. Starting on Tuesday. Monday?
No, Saturday. It started last Saturday because we had 2 naps and it really screwed it up. But even before then, but it was not as frequent.
Yeah, and what he's doing is he's just throwing out every negotiation tactic in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to leave, snuggle,
cuddle, hug, more water.
Yeah.
Light on, light off.
Truck, ambulance.
Everything.
He wants all his toys in his bed.
And that's okay because before this even happened, we would always give him something to sleep with. It didn't matter. He would sleep with a truck or a tractor. I would at least give him something.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah. Usually he sleeps with something.
Every night or during his nap.
Right.
So, but he's just going through everything in his mind that can get us to stay.
Whose fault is the sleep regression?
Nobody's.
Look at you. You turn the camera on and everything shifts.
Nobody's fault.
Whose fault was it a couple days ago?
I had a dark moment.
A couple days ago, whose fault was it?
It was my husband's. My wonderful, loving husband. It was all his fault.
It was all my fault.
It was all his fault.
Yeah. Why was it my fault?
Because in my mind, you spend too much time in there with him.
Because I snuggle him and tell him stories and talk to him at night. And
I talk to him too.
Sometimes I end up falling asleep in there.
Yes.
Sue me.
Which I think is a problem.
But at the end of the day, he's 2 years old.
He's fine. Look what he's trying to do. He is trying to negotiate with us every night. So
Amy blames this on me the other night.
I take it back.
And then she kicks me out of his room. So she says, I'm gonna deal with him and I'm gonna get him down to bed, being the hero.
I was not a hero.
So she kicks me out, says, just go to bed. And so I am at the top of the stairs listening to her try to get Wrigley down. And she's
not happy
with him at all.
I'm very frustrated.
Very frustrated.
But in addition,
she is saying in a very assertive voice, go to bed.
Yes.
And Wrigley's coming back and saying, hug.
No.
Go to bed.
Well, when you've snuggled for an hour already, you're like...
But it's like, how can you yell at him?
Because I need time to myself. And in addition to this boycotting bedtime phase, he is also waking up in the middle of the night, which is not helping at all. So when...
Yeah, some nights.
It's every night.
Every night.
Yes, it is, Mitch. It has been every night. There has been
Did he do it last night?
He didn't do it last night. That was the second night since New Year's. Second night since New Year's that he has not woken up in the middle of the night. And in the middle of the night, that could still be like 5 a.m. that he's waking up. But he's still waking up one time in his 12-hour sleep. He normally sleeps 12 hours, and he's waking up at some point during that time.
Up until this past month, he's been a rock star sleeper too.
Up until 2023.
12 to 13 hours a night. every night. We've been super blessed. But now it's,
Never had a sleep regression before this.
Giving us some issues.
Yeah, he's harder than the newborn or the 3-month-old.
Sleep-wise? She still gets up a couple times.
Probably just in general. This whole negotiation and...
During the day, he's not a problem.
He can be. He's not always.
He's getting so smart.
He is getting so smart.
And he's like starting to listen better.
Yeah,
and he can actually do tasks.
Majority of the time, he's really good. There are some days where he just is...
But he's 2.
Just doing things just to get a reaction.
He's 2 years old.
He is 2. I know. I'm aware.
Give him a break. Do you remember being 2?
Give me a break. When do I get a break?
Do you remember being 2?
When do I get a break?
Unfortunately, this is what we signed up for.
No. I mean, yes, but no.
You're saying you didn't sign up for this?
We did sign up for this. Yes. But I should still get time to have a break because as you've seen the other night, my patience is thin.
You should get time for breaks during the correct times. You can't ask for breaks in the middle of a screaming, crying session.
No, but I would like to point out,
you can't say that
when I did take my break on Friday, somebody got frustrated during their time with 2 kids.
I did not get
and
frustrated.
hung up on me on the phone.
I hung up because you were calling about nothing.
No, I was calling about something, and you hung up before I got to that.
Do you want me to explain the story, or do you want to explain this?
No, I'm over it, but you can explain it if you'd like.
I'll explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I am watching both kids. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I get off work at 4. I got both kids. Amy made me get Wrigley up at 3 because he's going through this sleep regression. So she's like, make sure you get him up at 3. It's very important. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get him down. So I have Lula on my lap. I have Wrigley walking around in the living room crying, just like crying, just not happy that I woke him up. And then also I'm finishing the day of work. So Amy calls me and she can hear Wrigley crying in the background. Lula starts crying while she's on the phone. And Amy starts saying, you know what? Wrigley's just going to have to figure it out. And I was like, I don't need you to lecture Wrigley through me over the phone. That was
not a lecture. That was just me simply stating he needs to figure it out. There's nothing you're going to do or you can do. Just let him figure it out.
Either way, I had 2 screaming kids and I was trying to work. I didn't need a third screamer at me, so I hung up the phone.
I love seeing Mitch get stressed in this situation.
I wasn't stressed. It was just unnecessary.
You were frustrated.
I wouldn't even say I was frustrated.
You don't just hang up if you're not frustrated.
I would say
or mad or any type of emotion.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling some type of way for sure.
You were feeling some type of way. So I just yelled a little bit.
It was more just annoyed of you. Because it was so unnecessary. You knew, you could hear both screaming kids. You knew that I wasn't done working. And you knew that you told me to get Wrigley up early.
Yes.
And you still chose to be snippy on the phone.
I was not snippy.
You were snippy.
No, I was not.
You were snippy towards Wrigley. It wasn't towards me. You were snippy towards Wrigley, but either way, it was still a negative.
Dad wasn't having it.
It was a negative emotion you were bringing towards me.
You already had negative emotions.
And I didn't need it. I had 2 crying kids.
Now you get a taste of my life.
See, and that's what you say every time. That's like your number one argument, and I think that's BS.
I finally got my break, and when I went and got my break, my 1-hour massage, I have Snippy husband on the phone because he's dealing with 2 crying kids. You hung up.
You're the only one who talked. I said hello. You heard them crying, and you were like, Wrigley's got to figure it out. And then I hung up the phone.
And he hung up. And then I decided I was going to go drive around and just add some extra time on to my personal time. But I didn't do that because that would have been mean.
You just said you did do that.
No, I was going to. I was like, I'm going to turn my location off and I am going to go do whatever I want to do. And he can just figure it out on his own.
that would be great. I did figure it out, because when you got home, what was the situation? Both kids were sitting on my lap, perfectly fine. I was reading a book to them.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Pretty sure when I got home, Lula was sitting on your lap and I came and grabbed her.
No.
And he was running around down here.
No, they were both sitting on my lap when
Where?
you got home. Down here. And I was reading them a book.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah. You don't remember the good parts. Only the bad.
No, I just don't remember that. That has nothing to do with the good or the bad. I just don't remember that part.
Yeah, I do.
'Cause I thought
Maybe
you
it
were
was
still
before
working.
you walked downstairs, though. But I remember when you walked in the door, they were both on my lap.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, she's going to get a kick out of this.
I did not get a kick out of it.
No, you came down. You came down with fire in your eyes.
Yep. Because you were rude.
I guess. Yeah, you probably shouldn't hang up on your spouse. That was definitely, after I hung up, I was like, that was probably stupid. I could have just muted the phone.
I went to go take me time, which you encouraged me to do. And then when I do take it, that's how you react.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That's my point of view on it.
Yeah, so we both have point of views.
Yeah. That's why I don't take personal time.
You can take personal time. Just don't yell at me when you take personal time.
I didn't even yell at you. Mitch's version of yelling, by the way, just to clarify, Mitch's version of yelling is talking in a stern voice. The way I am talking right now could borderline be called yelling. Borderline
but
yelling.
not quite.
Not quite, because it's not stern enough.
It's not stern
and
enough.
It's not assertive enough.
And you don't have your
my assertive tone.
Your BF on.
Because I have that.
Because you get your BF on, and then you get that anger voice coming out. And I mean, it's not yelling.
That's
it's
Mitch's
just,
yelling.
It's not necessarily yelling, but it's correlated to yelling.
My version of yelling is volume.
Yeah.
I was yelling at Wrigley the other night because I was yelling at him.
Right. I don't know. I guess I think of yelling as any like negative context or negative talking.
Funny.
Coming into tonight, we were supposed to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. We still can. We still have time.
Yeah, we still got a couple minutes here.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Hollywood is weird.
So, what did Jamie Lee Curtis do?
She posted a picture about her chairs.
And it was like her office in her house, right?
Yeah, and she had these cool chairs that came from set, but in the background on the wall is a child naked in a tub. Piece of art.
The tub was like filled with water, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I read up on it, and the picture, I think she commented on it because she deleted the post.
Yeah.
And then I think she talked about the picture, or I saw something about the picture, and it is a child playing outside in a bucket of water with their mother. It was like the story of it.
But isn't that artist kind of known for that kind of stuff, like weird?
I don't know who that artist is, but I've heard like about
That's
other
what
artists.
I read in an article. That
okay, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Whatever took that picture has been like kicked out of art galleries for putting up pictures of like naked kids.
Ew, so gross, so disgusting. I don't know anyone who if you think that's okay, you can zip up your suitcase and get out of here, because that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's not cool. But either way, I mean, there's all these, I don't know what it is about Hollywood and leaving the paper trail of like sex trafficking or human trafficking. Mm-hmm. And especially with children. Like, why does this keep coming up with like Balenciaga?
I don't know.
With, I guess Andrew Tate got, I didn't read into his story, but that guy who was like crazy famous on the internet, mm-hmm. he was called a misogynist and everything. Mm-hmm. He got arrested for like human trafficking.
I don't know why rich people feel the need to do that. Whether it's true or not, there's always some truth in either rumors or conspiracies. There's a little bit of truth.
But then you have people like Blake Lively who have like huge foundations against
I don't think.
child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I don't think all like Hollywood is bad. I think there are just some odd like.
Well, what if they're working hand in hand?
They could be. They're getting funded, and then they're using those funds to just run a child trafficking ring, or whatever.
Or
who knows?
Or it could all be a coincidence.
Oh yeah, exactly,
and
that too.
We could all take it out
of context.
Yeah.
Like I said,
into it.
There's either there's some truth in everything, and there's not.
Right.
Right. Conspiracies are conspiracies. There could be a little bit of truth. I believe there's always a little bit of truth in there, but then it could just totally be wrong. And that truth that's in that conspiracy is just taken out of context and twisted into something that's actually not. But it could still technically be like negative, you know?
Yeah.
Or like evil.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just pushed in a different direction. I don't know. I don't even know if that made sense.
I don't know if it did either.
That's okay.
You tried.
I think my brain's honestly just fried from the last 3 weeks.
I was pretty exhausted when I was laying in his bed. I was like, are we going to record tonight, or are we just going to go to bed?
Gosh, he's just
But
something
we're going to
else.
figure it out. We're going to get through it. It's what we do.
Just a phase.
It's what you do in marriages.
Just load up on the caffeine.
Yeah. Sometimes you
Rust.
yell and bicker and hang up on each other, but...
And then sometimes you just duke it out in a game of horse, and you just crush your husband.
Yeah, right.
Because he's just terrible at basketball. It's embarrassing for him. I'm embarrassed to be married to him because he's so bad at basketball.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody listening believes that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're the champion.
I am.
You
I'm
take
just
the
making
throne.
swishes left and right.
Yeah. You were wet today.
Yep. I was wet. You just can't beat me, you know?
Yeah.
Can't beat him, join him.
What else do you got? Anything? I think we're nearing 15 minutes here. Oh, actually, we're a bit over.
Oh, oops.
16 minutes, so we better shut this thing down.
Well, this is kind of a doozy of a...
Little up and down. But
little
I thought
up
it was
and down.
pretty good.
Little, yeah, here and there. But
a little bit of the real side, I guess.
It's the real and the raw. This is
raw.
parenthood, and this is current events.
Yeah. Documenting history.
Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for listening.
Check in on your friends. Check in on your parent friends. Make sure they're doing okay. They may need an extra coffee every now and then. Godspeed.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. If not, that's okay too. Hope you guys all have a great week. Love you all.
Good night.
Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, you can bet I'd move it over a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I don't want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues